And go ahead and start a new project.
I'll have to get the whichever one I still have to do for Android Studio again.
So the calendar?
Yes.
And then go into transitions too.
I'm having issues with it. Did I not get the transitions one?
I don't know. Did you turn in last
What are
class?
you saying in the transitions?
Oh, he was saying name it that.
Oh, name the transitions.
Yeah, we're building upon that. Last time we looked at how to bring up another screen.
Today, stop.
And today we'll see how to bring up another screen, but another activity, but also to pass information. Okay. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to have two new activities. Let's see, resource. Okay, so if you expand over here to your resource layout, you see your activity main. If you right click on layout, you can do a new activity and then choose empty activity. I don't remember what we called it the other day. Not that it matters, but looks like my PowerPoint's geared toward main 2 activity. So we'll just leave that as main 2 activity and click finish. Now we're going to go to our first activity, main activity. And I'm going to delete the hello world. Now I'm going to pass in plain text. And I'll pass in, see, a button. Or pass in a button. I'll have a button. Now this one, I'll give it a name. Ed underscore name. Now I see by default this says name. You can come over here for the text for that after you click on it and delete name. Button, I'm going to have it say calculate, pass the info. Now over on the other button, or other activity, other screen, we're going to receive that information. So I need to switch over to that. Now, if you don't have it loaded, then you can just click on it over here, but you should see it up at top. You see we're on activity main now. You just go to activity main 2. We're going to drop on a text view. This is where we put the information that we're going to bring in. And then we'll also have a button that'll go back. And I'm going to change the text of it to say back. Now here's the code that we're going to use to come from our activity. So let me copy that. So I'm going to go back to activity main. And we're going to put the code behind this this button here. So I'm going to go to my main activity.java. And we'll have public void button click view v alt enter to import that library. I pasted that in. I'm going to do a control V to have it alt enter. Alt enter to have it bring in. It's not even asking that. There it goes. Alt enter. Well, maybe. Alt enter. There it goes. Some of this we've seen already. We have we're declaring an intent, calling it an intent, equals new intent, and then we're making a connection over to our other file, the main2 activity. We're bringing in our results of our edit text, and I needed something different in my example over here. So again, if you type in r.id add name. Now bring that in. Now an example I give here, I bring it as a number. And that's probably just fine for what we're doing. So I have double num1. And num1 is equal to double.parseDouble. Again, that converts it to a double. And we say in1, which is our edit text, .getText, .toString.
Why are there so many intents? I mean, puts. There's like a bunch of put extras. Put extra int value, put extra byte value, character value.
There it is. Byte value, character value, long value, float value. This is called overloading. We haven't talked about objects, but it's where you you have it defined different ways. So it doesn't really matter what you pass in as your second parameter. It'll work. Like this here, no matter what it's string. But then the second parameter can be a data type called byte. It could be one integer, it could be character, it could be long, it could be float. We haven't talked about arrays yet. Short value, bundle. Some of these I haven't dealt with very much. So just a way of saying you can pass anything in. And that's pretty unique because everything we've done up to now, this has had to be very specific. This had to either be an integer, or had to be a double, had to be a string or something. So the way they got the put extra defined, you can put anything there. data type wise. I shouldn't say anything, but okay. So after we make our connection, so we make our it's like an open method, um, little open routine that we open up. Then we want to do a put extra. What that does is like if I'm going to pass you a note with information on it, I'm going to write the information down on a piece of paper and I'll hand you a piece of paper. Well, that's what this is doing. We're writing down pieces of information electronically, and then we're going to pass it into the other activity. Does that make sense?
I have an error because it's saying that name is in the I can't resolve a simple name.
Which one?
Where it says name on the intent put extra.
Oh, you don't actually type in name. You just type in the son of a reader. Really bad.
Oh, there.
Yeah. There it goes.
Yeah, I put the name on there for you. Now we're going to. That's how you prepare the intent, how you get the information. The receiving activity on public void on create. So if I go over to activity main, now here we want to retrieve the information and plug it into this text view. So I'm going to come to this text view and call it something. TV underscore num. So I'll go to the main2 activity.java. You'll see there's already a public void on create. You can probably figure out when this happens. It happens when you create the activity. These first two lines are already there, so we don't need to worry about that. These next lines.
Oh, we don't. Okay.
And I got to edit text, but I'm going to do a text view. And call this a text view. And I call this TV something. .tv num. I'll do Alt Enter. Import that library. So this is establishing the connection to that text view. Here we're declaring a variable parameter 1. We're declaring a string, p1. I get down to this intent, again, do Alt-Enter to have it bring in the code when it prompts. Alt-Enter. You could also go up here to the import and just type it in. So notice here we're doing a get intent because we're receiving the information, aren't we? And then I declare the variable I declare to param1. I do an intent dot get double extra. The name of it's the param1 default value put 0. Now you're going to see over on this side, there's a lot of different items. Double extra, get data string, get integer, so forth. Why do you think on this one we said get double extra? Because we're setting it equal to a double. Yeah. And so that does the conversion for us.
Do we need the intent.get
Yeah.
at the bottom?
Oh, no, I was just playing on that. Now you can name this this variable here whatever you want, param1, whatever you want to call it. You notice this says param1 here inside of quotes. This has nothing to do with what I named the variable. Where this is coming from, param1, is if I go back to my main activity, we called it param1. So when we did the put, we put it into param1. When I do the get, I'm getting it from param1. Does that make sense on that?
Yeah.
Now, at that point, I think that's just, let's see. Oh, no, we need to go a little bit more. So to receive the activity, we need, to return to the first activity. So I'm going to copy that. Oh, let me copy. So I'm going to go over to main activity main 2, or main 2 activity, I should say. Come down here before my last curly bracket. I'll put my public void button return view v, alt enter, have it import the library code for the view. And I called it home intent, but you can call it whatever you want. Equals new intent. And you notice the name it's referring to is main activity, because that was the name of the class over here.
What? Get out of here, search everywhere. How do I get out of this?
You're in the what?
It kept doing search everywhere.
Search everywhere. Let me see.
Well, I closed out of it, but I don't know how it opened.
Huh.
Oh, if you double tap shift.
Huh. I don't know. You just click to the side, it gets rid of it.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, it was the capital.
Yeah, whenever I do a search, I just do Control F. But search everywhere searches all the files.
Yeah.
So if you need to do that, then that's where you use that. Now, if I run this, whoops. Yeah, attach the button. What I keep forgetting. Okay, so I come here, pass the info, and we'll go to my on click, button click, go to my other activity, the back button. I'll do button return, and now I'll run it.
can eat cold food. How do you do a cold boot?
Yeah. And then there's the 3 dots. It's over on the right hand side. Yeah, you click.
That should be a hot.
I didn't do my Infer Constraints. Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know if I did either.
You guys planning ahead. Okay, so Infer Constraints. Go to Activity Main. Infer Constraints. There we go. Now run it. Okay. So now I'll put in 33. Click past the info. Then you see it put 33 over here. And if I click back, it takes us back here.
Reach end of file while parsing. That's what I got.
When you ran it, and then write my code. So I'm missing a curly bracket. One of them's for button return, and then you need one for the class. Which means you may have an extra one up above, but we'll see.
Okay, what do we do?
Put an umbrella for 3.
Well, did you type in letters? Was I supposed to?
Did you attach your buttons?
No.
Direct Android Studio. And check your on click. There you go. Good one. Now let's say we want to add something else. We'll add like a name we're going to pass in also. If I go over to my activity main, pull that down, I'll get rid of my constraints. I'll add a plain text on there. Drag it. And I'll call this ed underscore first F name for first name. I'll get rid of the text down below. And click the magic wand to infer constraints. Now we're going to pass 2 pieces of information. One's a number and one's a string, going to be a string. If I go to my main activity, we need to declare edit text into equals edit text find view by ID, r.id.add, what do I call it, F name?
What? I didn't even double check.
Even though I don't necessarily need it, because you should be able to do a put directly with it. I'm going to retrieve that and put it into a variable called S1. So I say S1 is equal to into.getText.toString. Now if we do an intent.put extra, and I'll call this param2, and I'll pass in S1. That makes sense, what we're doing with that?
Yeah, it says cannot resolve symbol S1.
Did you declare S1 as a string?
Oh, I did.
You did string equals S1.
Oh, okay. See, if it's going to be a while before they get to blinds, I was thinking about putting those dividers over there, like putting it behind me.
Yeah.
And that'd be kind of cool, the light coming through those. I'm assuming it'd be cool. That would allow some light to come through.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
Would it fit behind you?
Not really. I mean, part of it would, and then it'd have to come out like that, because you can't block people being able to see the exit sign. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's a violation. It's like, well, I didn't know where to exit. I couldn't see something that said exit. Okay, so now I'm going to receive it on the activity main 2. So I'm going to drop on a text view. And then I'll call it TV underscore. And see, this is the first name. So I'll do TV underscore F name. If I go to my code, main 2 activity, we need to modify this a little bit. I got another text view to declare. So I got text view. Let's call it ed into again. Equals text view. Find view by ID. r.id.tv f name. Even though technically I don't need it, I shouldn't need it anyway. I'm going to declare a variable called f name. And I'll say f name is equal to intent dot get And we were choosing double extra.
Put extra.
Oh. No, this is a get on this side. String extra. There it is. Let's try to type extra string. So get string extra. And then it's called param2. And I don't know if I need a default value. Let's see if it gives me an error. Oh, semicolon. Then I want to write it back out. So do edn2.setText. And I'll say fname. It's already a string, so I shouldn't have to do anything special there.
Wait, it's get string extra. Okay.
Now if I run that, okay, so put in 33 here, I'll put in David here. I click pass info. And I didn't do my infer constraints again, but
What do you mean? What part of it?
What part we just did? That far behind.
and then it brings it in. Now we had a get double extra, we had a get string extra. Let's see, if we had a intent.get, notice what there is, int extra. What do you think that'd be for?
Integer.
Integers, yeah. So they follow the same format. Get, and then your data type name, and then extra. Questions on that? Well, for the project, you're going to have 3 activities, screens. Screen 1, you're going to get their first name. So you should have a blank for first name. You're going to get their last name. You're going to get their address, city, state, and zip. And then there'll be like a button that says next. The next will load up the next screen, next activity. On that, put 2 items that they can order. Remember how we did images? You could do images and then put a little checkbox next to them if you wanted to. You could do that little switch. You know, I think it's called a switch in Android Studio, where you click it and it moves it over. But this is like an order screen. And then you'll have a button for the next. Your screen 3 will summarize, so it'll have everything listed on the screen, summarize everything they entered, and have a button that says order. So we're entering in the information like they're going to ship it to us. They're going to pick the items that they want to order on screen 2. And if you got a different way you want to do that, that's fantastic. Just put images in there because it makes it easier ordering. People can pick what they want. And then on screen 3, it just summarizes it. And then in theory, when they click order, it would then order it.
Does the button actually do something?
No. Well, it'll just go back to that would be good. You think another screen that says thank you for your order? Fantastic. So it'll simply say thank you for your order. You don't have to summarize anything. It just has a simple text on there. So yeah, that would be good. Now, so 4 activities. So yeah, the rest of the time to work on that. It should just be doing more of what we just did. So it shouldn't be anything brand new on that. You do have to remember how to do images and things we've done in the past. But